Welcome everybody to Seal Week 6. Tonight we're going to be starting off our cast taking a look at the Noxus Division games between Bronze X Penguins and Imagine eSports. I'm Willis, King of Games, your play-by-play caster, and my co-host and color caster. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Bean. I'll be your color caster for today. And we'll be starting off looking right at the picks and bans for the game one. Looking at the first three bans coming from Bronze X Penguin's side would be Zed, Shaco, and Fiora. Zed is a currently early game strong champion. When losing to mid lane, definitely shows his presence. Shaco also being banned off, a very good jungler in this also current meta with his invisibility, teleportation, and his just overall usefulness in his kit. And then the third ban being the Fiora, a more of a comfort pick for the Imagine eSports top laner, having a very high amount of plays on that said champion. Looking at the response, Imagine eSports responds with the bans of Ezreal, Leona, and Kassadin. Ezreal being a more of a comfort pick for Bronze X Penguin's side, along with Leona, and Kassadin overall his late game and just power spike while he hits later in the game, and while also being pretty good against their pick as Syndra. And then they began the first pick phase, taking Sylas almost immediately, taking away the Sylas pick from Imagine eSports side, as Sylas is more of a stronger champion on their side and more of a comfort pick looking at the mid laner. The Imagine eSports responding with immediate Thresh and Shen. Thresh being a strong bot laner and Shen having the overall map pressure and just strength overall in lane in this current meta, in which the Bronze X Penguins responds with the Morgana and Ornn. Morgana being able to use her black shield to her advantage against the Thresh and Shen taunts and just other CC that will be used throughout the game. Do you have any comments on this?
Well, so far,
these picks.
So far, I really did like the Thresh pick. However, Bronze X Penguin played this very smart, picking the Morgana. The Thresh otherwise would have been able to almost uncontested bully the bot lane as the support. With the Morgana Black Shield, not to mention the Morgana Root, that's going to allow Bronze X Penguin to have a decently strong bottom lane based on who they end up going with as their AD carry. I also really do like this Ornn pick. You know, the ornaments that come out late game, so long as Bronze X Penguins can keep it going to there, they're really going to make a difference in these team fights.
I agree.
The Shen early game, if we can see the Shen make some map pressure, maybe before these ornaments start rolling out, maybe we could see Imagine eSports really take full advantage of that.
I could not agree. Both top laners being in such a strong place in this meta, it'll be interesting to see how this game will play out. Looking at the second ban phase, Bronze X Penguins ban out the Lucian and Caitlyn, seeming to just target out the ADC now that they have not chosen their champion yet. With the response from Imagine eSports with the Shyvana and Severe pick. And then during the pick phase, Bronze X Penguins choose their Jhin and Lilia. Jhin being a pretty strong ADC, especially recently in this current meta, and Lilia being a incredibly strong jungler with her insane speed, her insane wave clear, and just overall power in our current state. Imagine eSports responding with the Graves and a Xayah. Xayah has a pretty nice pick into it, as she is able to respond with the Thresh, and she can synergize with them pretty well. and the Graves also just being an all-around strong pick in this current state of the game. Do we have any other comments for these current picks?
I do really like the team comp that Bronze X Penguins has brought out, especially down there in the bot lane. The Jin Morgana is going to be very strong if they're not stopped early on. The potential for the Morgana Black Shield to just counter any of the Thresh's hook attempts and flay attempts. Meanwhile, with her root coming out there, enabling the Jin to just really go all in on their target. I think that will make some potent team fights down there in the bot lane. But we can't put down skill, and Imagine Esports could respond very well to this. Obviously, everyone knows how Morgana is going to be playing. If they can pick that Morgana in the beginning of the fight or make her use her Black Shield before actually launching in with what they really want to get going, then you can have as much Morgana as you want if you can't get the Black Shield out in time or you use it too early. So now we're going to shift to the actual game. We're going to be going to a quick break before that. Stay tuned. Alright, and welcome back into Game 1 between Bronze X Penguins and Imagine Esports. We see immediately both teams heading off from the spawn. Expect this to be a fairly standard 5-point spread. Neither team really having the early real advantage, or although it does look like they want to go in and try for an evade. We see the Thresh leading the charge. They're going in after this Morgana and the Jin. They're already down there at the red buff. And it looks like the Lilia can take a little bit of damage from the Syndra. Now the Silas came in, but overall, nothing really to commit to. Neither side wants to lead, and almost stop on that Graves recall right there. Bronze X Penguins doing whatever they can to hold on, playing it smart and backing off, not giving the early feed over to Imagine Esports. As we see the Thresh being finally chased out of their jungle. He's hanging out there in the river. The Silas is going to get a little bit of damage onto him as he finally retreats. So for an early start, Beam, what do you expect out of these teams?
Looking at the items and the early starts of this lane, it looks like Xayah is immediately just starting with her Cole, looking to work more of a just a farming lane rather than trying to constantly go in, seeing if Thresh will be able to play well with her. Looking at how this goes, the invade. Here, let's look at the bot lane real quick. Oh, never mind. Looking at the start, it looks like already there's plenty of trading going on, bot lane and mid lane, and just all around. So it looks like that mid lane will have plenty of pressure throughout, at least throughout the first couple of levels. Bot lane continuing to trade continuously and having the pressure shift throughout. And just overall, these are all just pretty standard starts for each of the characters. That's
both bot laners
have much to say right now.
Both bot laners seeing their level 2 spikes at the same time. However, the Xayah was at lower health. As we see Bronze X Penguin looking to take advantage of this and go in early on. We do see a fight and a first blood go to the Shen, taking down the Ornn. As a fight goes down in the river, the Syndra falls to the Lilia Silas. And now Lilia is going in after the Graves, who just recently stole the jungle camps. Silas is coming in here as well. They're going to chase. We see a flash off of the Graves, but the Ornn is back in lane. Maybe he can head this off. No, he's going to try to take out some of this Grave. He's a little bit too late, and the Graves is going to get out of there. Even with the Silas hot on his tail, as we see a TP from the Shen back. Silas now knows he has to get out of there, as we see a lot of summoner spells going down in those early engages. The Shen poking at the Silas, telling him to get out of my jungle. As we see fairly even gold lead right now, 1-for-1 trades from both sides.
Looking at how this has been going so far, immediately, only like 3 minutes in, we've already have TP down on both top laners, using it to immediately just go back to their lanes, losing. I guess it's too early in the game to worry about it too much, but immediately losing a TP advantage that either could have been using for potential all-ins around the map.
We also saw the flash burned off of the Graves. That's going to make escaping out of other situations harder if he gets himself stuck into something else.
So he will have to play a bit more careful, but we'll be sure that he'll work his way around that.
We do see a TP down to the bot lane off the Xayah. She's going to get back there right away. The ADC bringing a teleport, not too common here, but it could work out in the favor of Imagine eSports.
I think
We
the
see...
TP was...
Please go ahead.
I think the TP pick already is pretty much also just further emphasizing on the fact that Xayah is looking for more of a passive lane, as she had taken her cull previously, and the TP allows her to back and get back in lane immediately to just start that farming up again.
We do see the first Drake is up, and it is a Mountain Drake. Neither side really in positions to really take advantage of it right now, but we do see that Thresh is pretty low. He's going to have to be careful, not get caught out by a Morgana root here, or else he could be the tipping point for Bronze X Penguins to take this first Mountain Drake. Oh, and we do see the root out onto the Thresh. He does land a hook onto the Jhin, but the Jhin shot is gonna go through and get the Thresh. Xayah is now alone. We do see that Morgana had to use Ignite just to confirm the kill. And now they're gonna try to chase Xayah out of here, trying to get the second kill. They're now free to push their minion wave up, as Lilia is now gonna make her way down the river. This could be a perfect opportunity. Now, instead deciding to recall and back both the bot laners and the jungler. That does mean that they are going to have the opportunity to buy some items, having gotten a little bit of money there.
Having already gotten their first kill in the bot lane through Thresh's death, Jhin has been able to back and already get boots and a BF sword, just like even more increasing his like insane amount of damage he has currently. And building his normal items, he's going to show himself in lane even more with just how much damage he's going to be pumping out in these early minutes until he's into the later game, just doing whatever he wants.
We see
we
see some back and forth trading here in the top lane. The Shen and the Ornn both going after each other, trading back and forth. But the Lilia coming in, the Ornn ult's coming up. He's going to go for the knockup. He misses the knockup, but the Shen's going to go down regardless, thanks to the help of the Lilia. However, the use of the ult there, not the wisest. The Shen was pretty close to death there. That Ornn might feel it in a future team fight if Imagine eSports tries to make anything of it in the meantime while it's down. In the bot lane, it's now the Thresh and the Xayah chasing the Jhin and the Morgana back to turret. While we see a fight go down, the Lilia falls to the Shen and the Graves in her own jungle after being chased through the river. The Silas, he's got the Syndra ult. Let's see if he can make anything of it. He's hanging out there. Looks like he might want to try to pick this fight. And the Ornn's coming in now too. The charge, the knock up onto the Graves. Silas is going in as well. We see another flash off of the side of Graves to get out of there. Very skillful execution in that escape, but he did manage to get that blue buff as well. We're seeing a lot of flexibility off the side of the Sylas. As he's now hit level 6, he's taking the advantage that he has, stepping away from the mid lane, roaming around, helping apply map pressure for his team. What do you make of that, Beam?
It's an interesting choice that Sylas is always constantly looking to hunt down this Graves, rather than staying in his lane, allowing the minions to push up a bit more towards his tower.
We do see the Jhin ult come through, and the Thresh, unfortunately, caught in the middle of the cone. No way out. But the Xayah will get out. She's now going to channel out of there. Lilia starting the Drake with both her bot laners here. They're going to pretty much get this uncontested. While in the top lane, we see Graves and the Shen chasing the Sylas and the Ornn back to their tower. The Drake will finally fall to Lilia as the Syndra makes her way down here. But there's no one to be found. It's too late for her to try to pick a fight. She's going to hang out and take it down. This control ward here in the Dragon Pit. Get a little bit of gold out of that. While the Graves tries to take this Rift Herald. He's going to start it up. It doesn't seem like anyone is nearby or in a position to contest this, as the Ornn and the Shen keep trading back and forth in a pretty even split. Shen back to his mid lane now. As we see the Graves making his way around, taking out wards in the river. Could potentially see an attempted tower dive onto the Sylas. And it does look like they want to go for this. The Syndra and the Graves are going to go in, but the Lilia's here as well. We see the Rift Herald summon. The Sylas tries to go in, and the Lilia will fall to the combination of the Graves and the Syndra, and now the Rift Herald is going to take a bunch of plates. That's going to get them a good amount of money for their efforts, not to mention the kill on the Lilia will set behind the enemy jungler. The Sylas will go in and try to get the kill on the Syndra, but she'll escape with a little bit of health left. He's now chasing down, trying to decide. He hesitated and misses the chance onto the Syndra.
Such a nice opportunity for Sylas that he's a little... It's a shame that he missed that, as he built into his Darksteel immediately looking to get a few of the kills to get his stacks when he builds it into it with Jaya's. Also having his cooldown reduction and his Lost Chapter giving him that bit of extra mana upon leveling up, and that extra bit of damage, along with Syndra building her Lost Chapter and Blasting Wand. It looks like she'll be looking to build right into the Luden's Echo. Looking around, the Morgana also builds right into a Seeker's Honor Guard and a Stopwatch, looking to get her Zhonya's to synergize with her ult and get her out of risky situations. Shen looking to build his Hydra item, his standard Hydra item with his Tiamat and Jarum's Fist. The Ornn looking to build his Sunfire Cape with the Bambi Cinder and his other armor, just building a bit of extra armor against that Shen and the Graves. Looking around the rest of the map, Lilia already has her Stalker's Blade, her Runic Echoes, and while Graves is building right into his Skirmisher Saber Warrior, I believe it's called. And looking at all that, I don't have too much else to say currently.
We do see a fight going down between Lilia and the Graves. Graves chasing Lilia through a jungle. We see the Shen ult coming in. They really want to try to convert this kill, but honestly, with the distance Lilia had to get to her tower, might have been a misuse of the Shen ult there, as now the Ornn is free to push his minion wave and get to that tower. The Shen is going to miss a good amount of CS there, but it looks like they want to try and make up for it. The Shen and the Graves are going to come in. They're going to try to take out this Ornn. They're guessing which bush he's in. but the recall's gonna get through with a second to spare as the Shen just gets in the bush and misses him time. Down in the bot lane, we do see that the Thresh built Mercury treads. Looks like we won't be seeing Thresh roaming around the map. Looks like he's going to stick to the bot lane for as much. Otherwise, he would have probably built for Boots' mobility. Saying that, though, it does look like he's going to make his way up to the river. It looks like they want to try to make a play onto the Sylas, potentially. As we see the Syndra and the Graves making their way up. The Sylas is pushing up. He's close to the danger zone. The Graves is going to miss his ability. The Syndra will get the stun. The Thresh hooks, but the Sylas will dodge. Excellent play from there. As now they're going to start repositioning as we see more and more the Morgana make her way up. The Jhin is making their way up. In a 3v4 now, we see that the Graves is going to try to get out of there. The Drake is going to come up in 9 seconds. And it looks like both teams want to try to make a fight out of this. As we see Bronze X Penguins pushing it forward. But, oh, the Thresh goes down to the Sylas right off the bat. And it looks like the Lilia's chasing after them. Now that Xayah is caught up, but the Root, they take down the Morgana. They're now chasing after and they take down the Sylas. They're now free with the Shen coming down here, the teleport. He's chasing down. We get the taunt onto the Lilia. He's going in and the Syndra finishes off the Lilia. Now Syndra's going down, trying to chase down this Jhin while the Graves takes the Ocean Drake. As a fairly one-sided fight coming out for the side of Imagine Esports, playing that very well, luring Bronze X Penguins into a full-on fight in a 4v4 before the Shen coming down, making it a 5v4 in their advantage. Let's...
A good moment for Bronze X Penguins as they just got all of these kills along with the Darkness, so putting themselves like media into more of a gold lead on their team. In fact, it's a 4K gold lead, and being able to further build into their items, one kill just being traded out, and even further bring them into that gold lead that I just previously mentioned. Titanic Hydra has been built by the Shen, his normal standard item. It looks like Graves, with all the gold that he just got, immediately upgrades himself into an Umbral Grave, looking up to take out some of the vision. How about we look topside real quick?
Yeah, we did see the Thresh and the Shen pushed up forward, but now the Sylas came up and they cut the Shen off. The Shen has been cut away from the Thresh. The Lantern not able to come in for the save, and the Thresh and the Sylas is going to go down. But we do see the Ornal, the knock up onto the Thresh and the Xayah. They're going to try to turn this. The kill onto the Morgana is very vital here. Now they're free to try to chase this Ornn. He's going down as he gets rooted and taken out by the Syndra, Xayah, and the Thresh. 3 members of Bronze X Penguins going down there in the top lane. Not good as now this tower is all but fallen to Imagine Esports.
With this Imagine Esports, well, that gold lead that I was talking about earlier just even further brought themselves into it. It's like this game is starting to definitely shift in the way of the Imagine Esports getting their items built through. As I was mentioning earlier, Graves had started his Umbral Grave looking to deal more damage, have a bit of lethality, as well as being able to clear the wards with that useful passive he has.
As we do see the Shen making his way bot lane now, switching with his AD carrying support. A fight goes down in the mid lane. The Thresh and the Graves taking on the Sylas, the Ornn, the Morgana, and the Jhin. They're getting rooted, they're getting knocked up, they're getting airborne. The Shen is here now with the ult! And now they're going to try to turn this as Bronze X Penguins have to back out. They're not ready to commit to a fight like this. As the Xayah and the Syndra are now making their way up here, Bronze X Penguins really deciding to fall back. Not willing to risk it with a team fight without the Lilia here quite yet.
So looking at how that... What was that? go ahead.
It does look like the Graves is now trying to chase after this Jhin. He's nearsighted him. He's going in, shotgun blasting. He's really gunning to try to take this Jhin, and he does manage to do it. But Morgana, Lilia, and Xayah are here. Xayah will take down the Morgana after the Graves falls, and now Xayah's going to try to take down the Lilia, but the Lilia is going to get behind the tower. The Syndra will take down the Sylas in the jungle, who is coming up to try to save Lilia, and now Lilia is forced to play it safe under the tower, facing off against two members of Imagine Esports who have just summoned the Rift Herald. They're going to try to take down this tower, and the Lilia has to try to either commit to this or back off. The Flay coming through and pulling the Lilia back. The Lilia commits to try to get the kill on the Xayah, but falls in the process. The Thresh getting the kill off that one. Now the Rift Herald's going to get one more charge off, hopefully, onto this top tower. And it looks like they're really trying to commit for this. We see the hook coming in, the stun, the airborne. That Jhin getting out of there, very crucial. He's gonna pop his ult. We see shots going in. The Thresh gets out of the cone, but he's stunned and taken down by the Morgana and the Sylas, who are now chasing down this Syndra. As the Sylas comes in, steals the ultimate, but doesn't get a chance to use it as the Syndra slays him immediately. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the Shen takes down the Ornn in a 1v1. Imagine Esports is really starting to snowpile with a 10k gold lead. Let's take a look at the item difference between them, Bean.
Looking at the item difference, there's party just even though like Jhin and Xayah seem to be somewhat even, and Xayah needs to go ahead and back and grab her other items. Xayah definitely has more of a lead, and she's such a strong champion when she's up in the lead. Her entire team will just snowball entirely. Looking at the items, it looks like Lissandra is looking to build right into a Liandry's Torment. Xayah is continuing to build her normal path, and Thresh looking to build his supportive tanky normal sort of build.
The Sylas going in on the Xayah. The Xayah will get shut down by the Morgana. The Morgana getting all that shutdown gold. Unfortunately, the Sylas really needed that. And now the Shen is going to get rooted and stunned and get chased out. But the Thresh is there to body block and throw up the cage. What a grade A support move from Lygos. Really putting his life on the line to make sure that his Shen gets out of there. What more can you ask out of the side of a support? The Thresh getting rooted, missing the hook onto the Morgana. That could have been a potential kill for the Syndra, who just made her way down here. As we see now, they're really gunning for this bottom lane. This Syndra and this Thresh really starting to try to take some damage. Their minion wave finally coming up. As we see, Bronzex Penguins really wants to fight for this. Morgana, Sylas, and Jhin are all down there, and they're going to try to chase down. The Graves is hiding behind the wall. He's going to charge in here now, going after the Jhin. Meanwhile, the Sylas is taking on to the Thresh and the Syndra. The Graves are going to turn onto it, and the Sylas will fall. Double kill, as the Morgana also fell to the Syndra.
Looking at how the items have been going, it looks as if Xayah has just been, snowballing very well, building into her Infinity Edge and starting off with her Essence Reaver, as well as having her Zeal, starting off with all that crit and damage that she will have built. Jhin also having his Stormrazor, boots of swiftness, and looking to build into a Infinity Edge to build up the damage that he hopes to, so he can follow up with all the damage that everyone hopes that he gives. Looks like Shen, building right into a Warden's Mail and a Giant's Belt, will be looking to build right into a Thorn Mail, if I remember correctly. Actually, no, I don't remember which item that is, honestly. And then Graves, having built his Caulfield's Warhammer and Serrated Dirk, continuing to work up his lethality and damage that he plans on using in the future. Overall, the items just seem like they're normal standard builds. On Morgana, on Morgana's end, the supportive, I know she does look like she is building a Haunting Guise, which builds into an Abyss Leandri's Torment, which is an interesting choice as she is the support. So I'll be interested to see how that will play off in future fights.
We do see one of the first ornaments coming off. Ornn getting his Forge Fire Cape, that is crucial for him. If they can just keep this game going and start stacking it, those ornaments will really come in clutch. But it looks like Imagine's going to try to start the Baron. I don't think Bronze X Penguin realizes what's going down as we see 4 members from Imagine taking this down. Meanwhile, Syndra is starting to delay this. As we see the Shen ultimate coming in, he's coming in over here now. They turn it and they take down the Morgana. The Silas coming over there, he realizes they're going to the Baron. He's going to go for the steal. But the red team, Imagine Esports, is going to get this, and they're going to take down the Silas. The Ornn does fall. Meanwhile, in the defense of the mid lane as well, as we see Baron buff coming in on the side of Imagine Esports, I'd imagine they really want to try to take full advantage of this and start pressuring this. Take more fights and push in with these minion waves and try to do some real damage. Take at least an inhibitor or 2. And it does look like they will claim the top inhibitor. Next dragon will be up in 1 minute. But we'll have to see if Bronze X Penguins can hold out, as they have minions now crashing into the core turrets. And the mid turret is gonna now fall. It looks like they're gunning for this second inhibitor. The route in, but the Morgana got hooked and taunted and she falls. The black shield's not there to stop it at all. The Ornn charging in there, knocking up onto the Thresh. They're really going in. This is a full-on team fight from both sides. However, Imagine Esports is going to claim the life of the Ornn. The Morgana still dead, as Bronze X Penguins is going to have to fall back. We see it is a fairly back and forth rapid fight, as Bronze X Penguins is putting in the fight to defend themselves. They need to keep their core protected, and they are showing it. The Xayah going all in on this Lilia. She's chasing him. The Flash gets the kill. The Silas is going to try to cut her off. And now with the help of the Morgana missed the root, but it's still plenty as the Jhin comes in and gets the kill. Only 2 Baron buffs. Only 3 Baron buffs left, and one of them is taking the dragon right now in the form of the Graves. The Syndra and the Shen are still pushing. They're going to take this turret. There's only 1 turret defending the core now left. As we see the Morgana getting taunted and taking down the Jhin fell. The Ornn ult isn't enough to save the Morgana. The Ornn is unstoppable right now, but he's falling back behind the turret. The turret rapidly falling to the minions. And now it looks like they're going to go in after the core. The Ornn got stunned, and now he's going to fall down. He's on low health, and it's not enough to save him as they're growing for the core. Minion waves colliding into minion waves. The Shen, the Graves, and the Syndra taking on the Lilia. The taunt, the near Saiyanist. She falls down. As we see an ace and the fall of the core. And Imagine Esports takes game number 1 versus Bronze X Penguins. 32 kills to 11 kills in a 26-minute victory. What an amazing continuous fight there near at the end. And a good game overall. If we have to talk about the end of that game, I'm going to first have to bring up the MVP for Imagine Esports. In your opinion?
I feel like everyone on the Imagine Esports game there played extremely well, playing each of their roles in a very nice way. I noticed that Thresh was hitting plenty of hooks, saving his teammates almost several times, getting the picks he needed in order to get his team the kills that they needed. So I believe that I would give the MVP to Thresh in this most recent game.
That's definitely, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. The Thresh really showing up in a lot of moments in which not as flashy during certain team fights wouldn't stick out to some people, but the Thresh body blocking, the Thresh throwing out a lot of those hooks and managing to land them. The Flays coming in as well with an opponent on the Morgana, the potential for the Black Shield. That Thresh Lagos really stepping up there and showing off his skill with Thresh. As for an ace for the side of Bronze X Penguins for game 1, I think I'm going to have to give it to the Sylas. Really, throughout the game, the Sylas was chasing down the enemy jungler. He was making a lot of roaming and putting in a lot of map pressure for his team. What do you think, Bean?
I think I could agree to content, but again, I believe that honestly the entire team did do a really good job at coming back, even when they had a bit of a rough start at first in the bot lane.
All right, and with the conclusion of game 1, we're going to take a small break before we head into game 2 of Imagine Esports versus Bronze X Penguins. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 between Imagine Esports and Bronze X Penguins. I'm Willis, King of Games, with my co-caster, Bean. We saw in Game 1 Imagine Esports take a victory against Bronze X Penguins, but that was a pretty interesting game, wouldn't you say so, Bean?
I do think that it was a pretty interesting game, the beginning being a very interesting start, trading kills pretty often.
Now, without further ado, I think we should get right into the pick and ban to see how these teams handle it for Game 2.
So looking at the bans right away in the pick and ban phase between the Imagine Esports and Bronze X Penguins, Imagine Esports has the blue side this time, immediately starting out with the Ezreal ban again, one of the comfort picks and the ban they had pulled out previously, along with the Leona and Kassadin also running the same bans that they had previously. Just going against all the comfort picks and those stronger champions. And then the Bronze X Penguins responding with a Zed, Shaco, and Caitlyn, also following their previous bans and rather changing up their comp to try to see if they can go against the Imagine Esports team. Imagine Esports, when picking their champions right off the bat, they do choose Thresh again. Having being pretty strong last game, they decide that they will run Lucian with him as well. A very strong duo uh, in the bot lane, very oppressive and powerful. And then Bronze X Penguins will respawn with their Severe and Shen. Severe being a pretty uh, hard champion early game, but she does scale up and farm and become very strong later in the game. And Shen also having that same map pressure and control. I also noticed that there was a bit of a lane swapping. Shadow being in the top lane now when he was previously the ADC, and Aeliaron role becoming the ADC rather than the Ornn top lane. Um, on the Imagine Esports side, they will now ban out Silas and Corki. Silas being a pretty strong champion on the Bronze X Penguin side with their comfort pick. Also banning out the Corki. Bronze X Penguins banning out Syndra and Graves, which has changed out from their last time. The Imagine Esports showing that they were pretty strong on those two champions. Imagine Esports will choose Nunu and William along with Vigar. A very nice scaling comp looking at the Imagine Esports side, as well as the Bronze X Penguin responding with the Shyvana jungle and the Swain. Do you have any comments on this comp, Willis?
Well, Imagine Esports, obviously we see Lagos having performed well with the Thresh in the game 1, bringing it back for game 2. However, this time he's going to be supporting for what is most likely going to be a Lucian. I do like this pick. I really do like the Thresh pick. His kit allows for so much versatility and potential lane bullying. And if the enemy team doesn't play too careful around him, he can really turn these team fights, either by getting his teams out of dangerous situations with its lantern, or hook pulling a vital champion right into the danger zone for the rest of his team. I also really like the Fiora pick. The potential for her in late game trades, in 1v1s, 1v2s, and even 1v3s I've seen is very good. The potential of growth there is great. I do still like the Shen pick on the sides of Bronze X Penguins. That map potential, allowing to apply pressure with the ult, can really help turn things around where they need it in those early team fights. I also do really like this Swain pick. I just hope that he can get out there with a good start and start to build off of that. I'm interested to see how this Nunu and Willump and the Vigar pick will go. Same thing with the Shyvana. But there's only one real way for us to see how it goes, and that's by going to the actual game. But first, we're going to start with a small break. Everyone, please stay tuned, and we'll be right into the game. Masaki! Alright, as we see the game starting off already, we'll see if either side decides to start off with another invade. We do have the Thresh on the side of Imagine Esports. That could be the invasion fuel that they want. But we do see on the side of Bronze X Penguins, it looks like they're going to start off with the standard 5-point split. Moving around, getting in a position. We do see the Thresh heading off into the river. Lagos really checking out for things. Potentially looking like he might want to start something. Lucian coming over to support him. But it doesn't look like anyone's really going to start anything or start any risky plays, except for the fact that the Swain almost found himself in dangerous situation between the Veigar and the Fiora. The Vigar starting, getting a little bit of damage off. The root from the Swain stopping the Vigar, but the Fiora wasn't there quick enough to really make anything happen.
So looking at the items right off the bat, Shyvana is starting her blue side while having a Hunter's Talisman which I do think is quite an interesting start for her pathing, maybe looking to work towards that top side and get an early gank off on Fiora, putting her behind before she gets too strong in her dueling. Shen starting out his Doran Shield, which is a pretty good item with that little bit of extra health every time he's hit after taking damage and the constant poke from the Fiora. Everywhere else, it looks like the supports went their normal Steel Shoulder Guards and their Relic Shields. Vargar going his Doran's Ring along with Swain rather than the Corrupting Potion. And all around, it looks like just pretty good start for everyone.
As we saw in the bot lane, Perseverance and Lagos starting off strong already, bringing down Alien Roll down to half health in back and forth trades. The hook off of the Thresh, the stun, the flashes. They're really going for the kill, but they're gonna get to the tower safe in time. Alistair getting brought down to half health. Very close. As the Sivir flash getting her to safety. Another Thresh hook. Lagos is really nailing these ones as the first blood comes out of the bot lane. Flash off onto Alistair. He's being ignited. He's gonna burn, but he's gonna get out of there safe and sound in the top lane. Nuno and Willow coming up. They're really not stopping. They're really trying to apply a lot of early pressure. Imagine eSports is starting off aggressive. They're hungry. They want these kills. As we see, they're not disparaged by the fact that Shen got out the first time. The snowball from the Nuno Willow. They're gonna get this. They knock him up airborne. The Fiora, the taunt. The Shen has to get out of there, but he's gonna fall to Barbadrian. The Fiora starting off strong with a kill is now free to CS unopposed.
Already with the first kills going to Imagine eSports, if there's such an aggressive start, the gold will be going around, allowing Lucian to get his Vampiric Scepter and have his extra bit of sustain in the lane. Fiora having her bit of a nice start to the game already, being able to build right into her Hydra and able to get her early team at if she decides to build into.
We do see Nuno and Willow coming in with the snowball. Goonball wants to try and make something happen with the combination. Reese and Goonball going in after this Swain. Mansberg taking damage, but pushing them back. And now we see the flash off Archangel chasing down the Nunu. Reese is gonna get lantern pulled by Lagos, while Goonball falls to the Swain. These are the Thresh plays I'm talking about, Dean. This is why Thresh is such a good champion. What would have been a kill in the hands of Archangel, however, is now a kill in the hands of Swain, as Nunu was not able to get out of the jungle alive after all.
Barely trying to get away as the Thresh. The Thresh Lantern was just not enough for where the Nunu wanted to back.
Dragon number 1 is firmly in the hands of Bronze X Penguin, as they really want to get this. The Thresh tries for the hook, but doesn't make anything of it, unfortunately. As everyone starts to return back to their lanes, we see that Imagine eSports in the bot lane once again wants to try to make stuff happen. The hook lands on Alistair, dragging him back, stunning him. Is he gonna get away this time? The Lucian is not in a position to chase after him, unfortunately. Nuno and Willem starting a snowball. Reese pushing up the river. Is this snowball gonna hit Swain? It's going to hit! Oh, it misses! The Vygar Goonball could get this kill going in. But Archangel is here to back up Swain. Goonball and Reese not in a position to take this 2v2 right now. They're gonna play it safe and play it slow. In the top lane, the Fiora flashing in after the Shen, going for this kill. Fiora's gonna get the kill. Barbadrian getting the kill onto Shadow. Another kill in the hands of Fiora. Very crucial for her to start snowballing.
With the kills Fiora has gotten now, she will now be able to build into her Tiamat item, getting her boots as well, giving her the immediate snowball that she needs in order to show to be relevant and to be so strong in future dueling, or if she decides, most likely split pushing, being able to beat anyone that decides to face her.
Exactly, as we see everyone now slowly getting their ways back to lanes. We see trades going down on the bot lane, both sides exchanging a little bit of damage, but no one really wanting to commit to an actual fight, not with the way the minion wave is right now. As we see, they're trying to get out, they're starting to recall. Is the Thresh going to stop it? The hook lands on Alistair. Lagos does not miss these hooks. Lucian now going in. Alistair is not going to get out of there as the Thresh gets the kill. The flash off the Sivir is going to get her out of there safely. But the kill falls nonetheless into the hands of Thresh. For the bot lane. So much pressure. So many hooks. And so much value off of this Thresh.
This Thresh most recently, he's been hitting so many hooks. It's been so good for their bot lane.
Exactly. And as we see now, the Shyvana chasing down, managed to get the kill. The Thresh falling. He's now back up and gonna make his way back to the lane. The Lucian has been chased back to the tower by Shyvana, who is now out of dragon form. As the Rift Herald will fall to the combination of the Nunu and the Fiora, it looks like this Nunu wants to take this Rift Herald to the top lane. They're gonna try to clear out this minion wave, it looks like, drop the Rift Herald, and apply even more pressure up there now, since they have all the pressure they could want in the bot lane from the combination of the Thresh and the Lucian. They're now gonna drop this Rift Herald. The Shen has to fight this. He can't give up a turret this early on. He's gonna stand here. The Rift Herald charges in there. The turret brought down low. The Rift Herald will fall to the Shen. And now the Swain is up here to back him up and save his tower. In the bot lane, however, now it looks like the Thresh briefly got pulled off to the side in a small engagement directly with the Sivir and brought down to half health. He's gonna have to be a little more careful. Now he's pushing forward the minion wave. The hook misses, but the Lucian's landing shots onto Alistair. And now shifting focus onto the Sivir. Lucian and Thresh now free to start clearing out this minion wave. Oh no, Shyvana coming down now. They're a little overexpended. The Dragon Rush, the Thresh hook pulls the Shyvana, and now the Lucian is getting out of there. Lucian's really trying to run. The flash comes up, but he's been ignited. Is it gonna be enough? And it is! The Lucian falling to the Alistair. As the dragon is back up now in 5 seconds. We're gonna take a brief moment and look at the item differences so far.
Looking at the item differences already, Shyvana has a slight lead over the Nunu, only by 300 gold though, having building into her AP Shyvana itself a very strong build in this in the current meta, as well as Swain building a Dark Seal, looking to deal more damage once he gets his Majaya's Soul Sealer, as well as having his Palace of the Aeons, a very
Is it enough? But it's not. They can't really make anything of it, unfortunately. The dragon still falls to Bronze X Penguins. But now Goomball is taking on the Alistair. Another Thresh hook onto the Shyvana! Is he gonna get this kill? Oh, the Shyvana's been ignited! Falls to Lagos! Oh! What an amazing play there from the Thresh, using the advantage of the high ground and his hooks. They're now gonna try to shift the Lucian and the Thresh. The Thresh hook does does not land, unfortunately, there. That would have been really pushing it, and that would have been an amazing play. It was a nice attempt, though, from the Thresh, as they're now pushing the Sivir and the Alistair back. Oh, the Sivir is now going to fall to the Lucian, unfortunately. The Alistair has to recall. He's on too low health to really pick a fight here. As the Thresh and the Lucian are now going to be free to push their minion wave right into this tower and get those plates.
While we have this moment to look at the items and the gold leads, it looks like right off the bat, Fiora has a major advantage over the Shen, having a 1.5 gold lead, being up 30 farm, as well as having a 2 kill advantage over him. Looking down at the bot lane, it looks like Lucian has been keeping his 1k gold lead, allowing him to finish off his Blade of the Rune King once he backs. Fiora also has her Ravenous Hydra done, allowing it to cleave through that armor and getting the lifesteal that she needs in order to continue to sustain and fight throughout her duelings.
Yeah, and this is going to be starting to get crucial. As we do see, so far, Fiora is the only one on the board right now with a bounty. In the bot lane, the Sivir and the Alistair are now free to reclaim some gold by taking some plates off of this tower. Thresh and Lucian have both backed, and now the tower, undefended, is going to lose a plate. That will help them out a little bit, but it won't fully bring them back up. They're going to have to make every play count and get every bit of gold they can scrounge. As now we see Nunu hard engaging onto this Shyvana. The Shyvana is going to turn around in Dragonform. Swain and Veigar both coming up to help with their jungles. Reese airborning Archangel, stunning with the Veigar. The Veigar ult onto the Shyvana. The Swain is now chasing down Reese. Mansford versus Reese. The Nunu. The Veigar from Goonball. Locking the cage around him. The Swain will fall. Goonball getting another kill. And more gold for the mid laner. In the top lane, Fiora getting the tower. Goes in for the kill. Barbadrian getting a kill onto Shadow. Another kill for Fiora. Her bounty increasing to 400 gold.
So, looking at how that most previous fight had been going, the Shen has built a Bramble Vest in order to attempt, and Tab Eyes in order to attempt to go against the Fiora healing and the damage that she constantly pumps out now that she's ahead. The Fiora healing has honestly been fighting completely through all of the armor that he has with his Ravenous Hydra.
The Fiora actually made her way down to the bot side, looking to make something happen, but Alistair and Sivir played extremely cautious there, spotted it in time, and have backed off. A little bit of a wasted attempt there, unfortunately, but now in the mid lane, Nunu coming in with the snowball. Is it going to land on the swing? Knocks him up, airborne. Veigar and Nunu going in hard. They root. Oh no, Shadow's down in the Shuttle now. Nunu and Veigar. Nunu getting rooted and caught out of position. The Veigar going in hard. It reclaims the kill onto the Shen. A 1-for-1 trade there in the mid lane. The jungler for the top laner. Veigar now going in after Swain. Swain's got a little bit of health. Veigar flashes and lands the kill. Goonball on a rampage. Up to 4 kills.
Such a good lead here, looking at the Imagine eSports side now. Fiora being up nearly 2,000, now 2,500. The Veigar now being nearly 1,000 up. And overall, just Imagine eSports being up a total of 5,000 gold. Looks like their snowballing will be really good here in the later game. Veigar being able to scale really well. Fiora also being able to snowball and scale.
The Nunu coming in on the bot lane with the snowball, knocking up both of them. Lucian and Nunu going after the Sivir. The Thresh hook on the Alistair is going to slow him down. He might not actually get out of there in time. but he does, popping his ult, and he's now safe behind the tower. The Dragon's up, they're gonna turn, force the Shyvana off its... Oh, blue team stole the Drake right away from Shyvana. They're now gonna chase Shyvana flashes. Nunu is chasing the Vigar cage, stunning. They're going after the Slain. He's gonna fire off that blast cone to get out of there. Him and Alistair have to run from the full force of Imagine Esports. Extremely aggressive plays, showing that, yeah, you can get the first 2 Drakes, but we'll take the 3rd and we'll have the kill lead.
So taking another glance at the items that have been going around, Nunu is building rather into a more of his tanky style, starting out with his Cinder Hulk on his Skirmish's Saber, building a bit more magic resist against that, the damage that Swain and Shyvana gives out. Shyvana continuing her build into the AP with her Sakura's Blade, Runic Echoes, along with taking a Dark Seal and building another Fiendish Codex.
Fiora finally shot down in the top lane. The Shen, with the help of the tower, managing to get that kill, claiming that bounty. But the Rift Herald's been dropped mid lane. Vigar and Nunu are gonna really go for this tower. The Swain and the Shyvana are here, but the Vigar is really going in. The Nunu is going to fall to the Shyvana, but will the Vigar get the kill? No! The Thresh is there, but the Thresh is getting knocked up and caught out and killed. Lagos falling to the combination of Bronze X Penguins. 3 players. Goonball falling back to the tower for safety.
This is such a good trade of kills for Bronze X Penguins, having being behind in the state that they are, allowing to at least gain some hope back from what previously looked like a pretty dull looking game for them.
Oh, we see a TP coming down here in the mid lane. Goomball is gonna try and catch Swain off guard. The cage gets the stun, but he's been rooted, and he's now safely behind the tower before the root ends. Lucian and Vigar not able to confirm the kill. Except now they're gonna go in again. The cage comes up, and Goomball is unstoppable with this Vigar. Oh. Now we see another team fight as they turn down towards the Shyvana, and the Alistair were coming up. The Shyvana now coming down top. Sivir being chased. The Thresh leading the charge. The Fiora made her way down as well. Vigar getting the kill. They're going to turn onto the Shyvana and the Alistair. Oh, man! Thresh getting the kill onto Shyvana. Vigar getting yet another kill onto the Alistair. He's got that 700 gold bounty. Someone's got to claim that. As they're going to turn for the mid turret. They're really going to push this here. 3 members of Bronze X Penguins are down, and they're going to try to take every advantage as they can. The Fiora split pushing in the bot lane, while 4 members of Imagine Esports are up here in the mid lane. Oh man, the Swain is not enough, but the Swain's going to turn it onto the Lucian and get the shutdown gold bounty. Oh, just when you thought it couldn't be enough, the Nunu goes in there as well, really targeting this Swain, but the turret is gunning him down. The Thresh, Lantern, Lagos saving the Nunu. Lagos has proven one thing, if not anything else this game, is that he has mastered the kit on Thresh. Really taking full advantage of each ability as he now shifts down to the mid lane to help out the Vigar. Lagos, oh, missing that hook just slightly. But does it matter as they are already starting to get ready for plays elsewhere? The Drake is up in 30 seconds.
So, looking at how the Thresh has been playing, do you think the communication in Imagine Esports has been really good, especially since none of those lanterns have been walked over and have been proven to be very useful in the timings that they have been?
I'd imagine either they are extremely communicative, Lagos calling out his lanterns right when they need it, or they've played enough games that they just have faith in each other's positions. I, however, believe and like to lean in that it's both sides. Oh no, the Nunu's been caught out by 3 members of Bronze X Penguins. The Thresh on the other side as the Lucian and the Vigar come down. Oh man, this is going to be a heck of a fight as they really try to close in. The Vigar cage coming up on the Alice there, briefly stunning and putting some damage onto him. They're really going to reform this line. Looks like they're going to try to turn it and stay on this dragon while the Fiora split pushes against the Shen. Already getting up there into the tower. The Thresh hook and the fling onto the Swain. He's gonna fall as the Thresh cage came up. Vigar turning it onto the Sivir. Oh man, Imagine Esports claiming this Drake. Getting 2 kills. What an amazing team fight there. Knowing exactly when they need to hold off, back off, come together, form up into a ball, and then go right in, splitting Bronze X Penguins into 2 sides and gunning down the champions that they need to gun down. We see the Baron actually getting started up here. It does look like Shyvana is onto this, and so is the Shen. Although they're stopping for the jungle camp, I don't think they actually think that the Baron's happening. Lagos hanging out outside, looks like he's getting ready. He throws the lantern in so that they can finish it. No, he's gonna hook over the wall and go right into the Baron pit for safety as they claim the Baron uncontested. Making use of the Baron buff to back as fast as they can. They're gonna start picking up the items with the money that they have.
Having a nearly 10k gold lead, it looks like Imagine Esports has completely snowballed their way throughout this game. Fiora, honestly, all of the champions being extremely strong right now. Vigar, especially with Vigar with his ult, his primordial, it's really hard to say, his burst, allowing it to just take out any of the essential champions that he needs to. The Thresh hooks constantly landing Thresh hooks and really good Thresh lanterns. The Fiora being able to duel her way, it's just not looking too good for the Bronze X Penguins right now. Hopefully, Imagine Esports may slip up and allow Bronze X Penguins to bring their way back into the game and put up more of a fight.
Exactly. It looks like Imagine Esports really knew that right off the bat they had to lean heavily into the W of the Nunu, as they've just now at this point snowballed out of control, really proving that they have the biggest snowball ever.
Even showing even more with the Fiora diving all the way under the tower right now. It's just so fun to see.
They're really gunning. The Nunu going in. They're gonna take out this Alice there, who was unfortunately caught in the middle of the squad. And now this Swain is gonna be falling next as the hook lands on him. The Vigar getting the kill. The inhibitor's fallen. They're now turning right onto the core. They're gonna get these towers. All members of Bronze X Penguin are dead and respawning. This is a free core and a free victory for Imagine Esports. A well-earned victory for the Snowball team with the Nunu and Willem. Taking a look at that victory. What a shocking 25-minute victory. As both sides putting up excellent fight, but the Snowball on the side of Imagine Esports, their ability to be very aggressive early on and take advantage of that gold lead that they had really drove them through this game. Let's move on to MVP decision, Bean. If you had to choose an MVP off the side of Imagine Esports, who would you reckon?
From what I saw, it looked like Thresh was doing really good at hitting those hooks and taking his team away from danger with those lanterns. But between him and Vigar, I honestly think it would go to Vigar being able to take out and completely dominate in his lane and destroy everyone in his path. So I believe that I would give the MVP to Goonball, the Vigar player.
I am gonna have to disagree with you there. I really liked what I saw from Lagos. The Thresh plays proving time and time again that he was able to set up a lot of those team fights. Those lanterns proving so useful on occasions to either get his teammates into the fight and to get them out. Only missing a handful of hooks. Both Lagos and Goonball definitely deserving of the MVP in my opinion. However, let's move on to the ace of teams Bronze X Penguins.
Looking at the Bronze X Penguins side, I believe the ace would definitely go towards the Swain, having put up quite the fight and being able to deal the damage that as best he could, being able to put out as best of a fight he honestly was able to do.
I will agree with you there. You know, the Swain was always there, always willing to step forward and take those fights. And with coordination from his team, was able to really deal a lot of damage and get in there with those kills. Congratulations to Imagine Esports on a double victory tonight in those 2 games. And best of luck in your future games. Bronze X Penguins, congratulations as well. You put up an amazing attempt to hold off and win that game. Now, I want to thank you all, but we're going to be moving on to our next game shortly after a small break, so stay tuned.